Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, word to my brethren out there in Sheffield, United Kingdom. Shout out to Sheffield. Speaking of Sheffield, we're going to talk about Sheffield's very own, one of my favorite fighters in all of boxing, honestly. Y'all know that already, though. Kell Special K Brook. Now, Kell Brook was at the Jarrett Hurd Arizona Andy Lara card this past weekend, and he ran into Floyd Mayweather, and I thought this was a great moment. It was on Fight Hub TV. They captured it, so big shout out to Fight Hub TV, Marcos Villegas, Constantino, and all them guys over there. They do great work over there on a consistent basis. So you got to give them credit where credit is due. They captured a moment where Kell Brook, I guess, saw Floyd Mayweather, and he went over to go talk to him. And you can't really hear everything they were saying, but you can make out bits and pieces of what was said. Floyd Mayweather didn't say much, but what he said I thought was interesting. Now, obviously, one of the first things you hear in the audio clip, and you guys can go check it out for yourself in the description down below. One of the first things he said was Kell Brook was, you came down from 160 to 147. That was too much. That was too much to come all the way down from 160 all the way to 147. If you hadn't done that, I think you would have been all right. That's what he said. But you're a hell of a warrior. That's what he said. So, big shout out to Floyd, recognizing that, it was a massive weight cut, and recognizing that Kell Brook is a warrior. Because my thing is this, and we're going to address you guys out there, like, Kell Brook, all right, and before I even get to Kell Brook, we live in an era of boxing where you got guys like who just got fighters in general are ducking, cherry picking, the taking fights for, the least amount of risk but the highest reward, which is fine, get your money. But sometimes that hurts the integrity of the sport because guys ain't fighting the best. They ain't willing to fight the best. And then you got a guy like Kell Brook who's fighting the best back-to-back, different weight classes, fighting guys that nobody wants to fight. Earl Spence, Triple G, back-to-back. And he lost both fights, so we recognize that. But I think in both fights he gave a good account of himself, and particularly in the Spence fight, I thought he was winning that fight going into the championship round. So my thing is, like, he can't get respect from a lot of boxing fans, but Floyd Mayweather can give him respect. Like, I think it's time we start giving Kell Brook a lot his just due, because this guy fought Triple G, he fought Earl Spence, he won his world title from Sean Porter on the road. He wanted to fight the best, but when he was champion, it never materialized. And many of you may forget, but after Floyd Mayweather got his victory over Manny Pacquiao, he could have fought Kell Brook, who had the IBF strap at the time, and he could have been undisputed. So, I don't want to get into a whole Floyd ducked this guy conversation, but you could classify that as a duck. Honestly, I'm not going to say he did, but I'm saying you could definitely classify that as a duck, because Kell Brook was the only fighter in the whole world who had a welterweight strap after Floyd beat Pacquiao. And Floyd didn't fight him. He decided to fight Andre Berto in a massive cherry pick. And a lot of people defended it, saying, well, he's Floyd, so he can do what he wants. But my thing is, like, it would have been so much bigger if you would have fought Kell Brook. You would have been fighting for the undisputed title. You had that big UK fan base behind him. They would have came to Sheffield. If you would have went to the UK, you probably would have fought in Vegas. But I'm saying, like, regardless of the fact, you would have had that big UK fan base behind him, and it would have been just as big. Who knows, man? Maybe even bigger than the Ricky Hatton fight because of the fact that it was for the undisputed titles. The UK would have came out to the US to support their own like they normally do, and have a good holiday here in Vegas. But he didn't make the fight happen, and it kind of sucks because it was a fight that I think would have really been fun to watch, because at that time, Kell Brook, at the time they could have made that fight happen, Kell Brook was really in his prime at welterweight. He was just coming off of the fight against Frankie Gavin. He was only 2 fights removed from JoJo, because Floyd fought in September of that year, right? He's fought in September of 2015, and let's say they fought in September of 2015, he would have just been fresh off of his win against Frankie Gavin. And back the Kell Brook that I remember coming off the JoJo Dan fight, the Sean Porter fight, the Frankie Gavin fight, that was the best version of Kell Brook. That was the Kell Brook that a lot of welterweights didn't want to fight. That was the Kell Brook that people were saying was the number 1 welterweight in the world. See what I'm saying? So, like, it would have been really good to see Kell Brook, a guy who has a really good jab, fantastic combination puncher, boxer puncher, was really strong at the weight back then because he wasn't weight trained at that time. Yeah, he cut weight to make 147, but he was really more. His body wasn't weight drained from being at 147. So it sucks that it didn't happen. I know a lot of people could say you could say Kell Brook or Floyd ducked Kell Brook. I mean, I have to say myself personally, I think Floyd did duck Kell Brook for the simple fact that you could have been undisputed. You could have really, that would have been a speaking point for him because Pacquiao's never been undisputed. I don't think he's ever been undisputed. So Floyd could have been undisputed, and he could have said, "Man, I want a 5 weight class. I was lineal champion, this amount of weight class, and I was undisputed champion at 147." Like then it'd be a lot harder to argue for Pacquiao. But the fact that he just ducked Kell Brook so blatantly, in my opinion, in fact, if you guys remember, he didn't even call him Kell Brook. He was getting his name wrong on purpose for all those years. He kept calling him Kell Brook. Kell Brook, you're a tremendous fighter, and all that stuff. So cool moment this weekend between Floyd and Kell Brook. I wish they would have fought. I think Kell would have had a good chance in that fight. Really, I think his strength, his jab. I think he would have had a good chance in that fight, fighting an older Mayweather who didn't look so good in the Pacquiao fight. So let me know what you guys think about this moment this weekend between Kell Brook and Floyd Mayweather. Is that a fight that you guys ever wanted to see when it was possibility? And do you think that 2015 version of Kell Brook beats the older, fading Mayweather? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Take the time to subscribe, and you guys start respecting Kell Brook. And until next time, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just Kip Daniel. So, take care, guys.